Hello and welcome to IFMA On Air, where innovation takes flight and the breeze of progress keeps moving. I'm your host Trisha Shetty, and you're tuned into a special episode that dives into the true game changer in the Indian fan industry, BLDC technology. Over the past decade, ceiling fans have transformed from simple home fixtures into smarter, quieter, and far more efficient devices. At the core of this evolution is the BLDC motor, a modern engineering that's reshaping the way India stays cool. And to help us decode this revolution, we have with us someone who lives and breathes this tech, Mr. Shibam, a champion of energy efficient innovation and a strong voice in the fan industry. Mr. Shibam, welcome on board.
No, thank you, Trisha, for having me here. Super excited about this podcast in general. Yeah.
It's wonderful having you with us. BLDC is a term that's now used everywhere, in homes and showrooms and even in government sectors. So before we dive into the specifics of this, tell us, why do you think that this technology has suddenly gained so much attention?
So if you look at Trisha, before 2015, the contribution of BLDC as a part of overall fan industry was less than a percentage. But if you look at now in the last 10 years, it has scaled from 1 to roughly 20 odd percent, right? So you are right that it has scaled up in the last 10 years. So what really changed after 2015? I'll say a couple of things. One, the product became a lot more affordable. Technology became a lot more reliable. And there is a lot of intervention by the government in terms of star leveling program, awareness, etc., right? And the participations from new brands, new R&D, etc., which eventually make the technology a lot more accessible. So I think some of these really help this penetration grow. Of course, the advantages in terms of energy efficiency and in terms of smart control, in terms of form factor, it ticks all the boxes that one can imagine.
That's a great point, Mr. Shibam. And that's exactly why we are here, to make it simpler and more understandable for our listeners.
Mm-hmm.
So let's start with the basics. What exactly is BLDC motor or technology?
Right. So before explaining BLDC, let me just quickly tell you, I'll just take like 20 seconds to explain what is induction motor fans, which is probably the most common motor fans available today. The way to understand an induction motor fan in layman term is basically just imagine a metal wheel kept in front of a magnet with changing polarity, which essentially turns the wheel. The only catch here is that there is no permanent magnet. This magnet is created with the help of electricity. Now that's about induction motor fans. When it comes to BLDC, which stands for brushless DC motor, so clearly when it's DC motor, it runs at direct current internally, unlike induction motor fan, which runs at, let's say, around 240 volt AC motor. The second difference is it has permanent magnet-based rotor, unlike induction motor again, which does not have a permanent magnet-based rotor. Third, it has an electronics, which precisely used to control the rotor more precisely, right? As a result of which, these motors are a lot more efficient than induction motor. Just to give a number, it will probably like 60 to 70% more efficient than the induction motor fans.
So in today's tech-savvy world, it's just the right thing to do, correct?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So why are BLDC motors considered a better option than your conventional fans?
Right. No, I think there are a few benefits that definitely BLDC motor has as compared to a conventional or traditional induction motor-based fans. So if I want to list it in order of priorities, I will say one, of course, is energy efficiency. So these are roughly 50 to 70% more efficient depending on model to model which you compare with. Second will be all of these models are smart. This all comes with remote controlled, can be easily integrated with the entire home automation ecosystem. The third thing is this delivers consistent output in different voltages. This also runs almost 3 times longer on inverter. And the fourth benefit I will say is in terms of form factor, because these motors are very high torque motor. You can play with the form factor and make it very like compact, minimal looking fans, which again is in line with the industry trend of minimalism. Yeah. So these are a few benefits that it has over
That's
the
a
regular
great
motor
leap,
fans.
Mr. Shibam. We also wanted to know for our listeners,
Mhm.
can you break down the major components of it?
There are like common components between a BLDC motor fan and let's say a regular induction motor fans, like blades, shaft, bearing, plastic parts. These are all common. But what are the few things that is, let's say, different for a BLDC motor fan? I will say, 3 or 4 things. One, of course, is the rotor. Permanent magnet-based rotor, which is not the case in induction motor fan. The second is electronics controller, right, which precisely control the that's kind of like the enter brain of the product. Third, I will say the way you control. That is all of this BLDC motor comes with a remote, so that's another different part. Fourth, I will say along all of these, there's an SMPS, which basically is, because all of these motors runs internally at in DC, you need an SMPS to run it. And some manufacturer use, let's say, sensors, etc., to make the product more smart. For example, some of them may use Hall sensors. So you can say sensors are probably the other part of this entire ecosystem, which is different than, let's say, a regular induction motor fan. So yeah, so there are 5 things. So electronics, SMPS, sensors, remote, and the permanent magnet-based rotor things.
That sounds like a perfect trio. You have your thinker, the mover, and the boss.
Mm-hmm.
Now, talking of smart, is a remote control possible with these fans?
Absolutely, yes. There are 2 types of technology available here. One is RF and one is IR based. Depending on the manufacturer, model to model, you can have both options available. But yes, you have remote with all the fans in BLDC.
Yeah, with the world getting smart, I think fans getting smarter is also very
Absolutely.
important.
Absolutely.
So, how do BLDC fans help with energy saving?
This will be probably. If you look at from consumption perspective, usually roughly 50 to 60% you will save at a fan level. So depending on a household or let's say an institutional body, the savings can vary from let's say 10,000 a year to like 10 lakhs a year, right? So yeah, I think it's largely the energy saving which is the more important part of it. This also is in line with government's mission around less dependency on energy consumption, etc. So yeah, I think there's a few things that how it's beneficial.
That's a really thoughtful initiative.
Mm-hmm.
So, are there any real life numbers that you can share with us, Mr. Shibam?
If you think a regular fan usually let's say consumes 65 to 75 watt, these fans, BLDC fans will probably consume around 28 to like 37, 36 watts, right? So give or take, it's 50 to 70% kind of savings. In terms of absolute INR, if you let's say look at on an average, a household will have let's say 5 fans. 5 fans will probably translate into give or take 7,000-8,000 rupees yearly savings, assuming certain around 300 days of operations, etc. So I think these 2 things I will say in terms of number if I want to put it.
So, it's like giving a 5-star hotel breeze at a budget room tariff.
Could be a good analogy, yes.
So, what about regulations? How has the government supported this?
I think government is doing quite a good job, and I think the first thing that they've done is making the star level mandatory for the fans somewhere in like 3-4 years back. Now every year or every alternate year, they try to make the star rating criteria more and more stringent, which will probably in line with pushing manufacturers to think about more energy efficient models. They also created some awareness and continuously and the continuously building awareness around it. I think government is also trying to encourage some early replacements. So yeah, I think government is doing the job.
So, talking of awareness, how has IFMA contributed to this awareness?
IFMA as a body, I think, have meaningfully contributed in promoting energy efficiency. As a body, they have created a lot of awareness campaigns around energy efficiency. They also take part in working with, let's say, the government, or let's say, the government bodies like, let's say, BISB, to make sure that the future guidelines are in line with this energy efficiency, etc. Right? And so yeah, I think awareness then liaising with government bodies to make sure as a body the IFMA goes and talk about the technicalities, educate different stakeholders in terms of what should be the right metrics to write in the certifications, etc. I think some of this they've done really good job.
So IFMA is like the head coach who's
IFMA,
teaching everyone how to swing smarter.
Yeah, you are good on analogies, I will say.
So Mr. Shibam, what are the challenges that was faced by BLDC ceiling fans, and how were they addressed?
I think yes. So as I said, this technology has a permanent magnet. Right? So unfortunately, most of the magnets come from China. So we have some dependency on China, and this rare earth magnet is rare earth materials is anyway a common threat nowadays. So in the early days, I will say there were not much evolved supply chain when it comes to, let's say, good electronic controller, or let's say good permanent magnet based rotor, etc. available. Over a period of last 10-12 years, as more and more industry participated, as the business became large, as the volume became quite significant, I think some of these players have now started, have their own R&D facilities in place, and there are now options available whether you want to go with, let's say, like more rare earth magnet, like let's say neodymium magnet based motor, or let's say ferrite magnet based motor. So now we have enough options available, but I would still say it's a work in progress, and it will take still some more time to stabilize the entire supply chain. But situation is much better than what it was like 10 years back, I will say.
I understand from this that BLDC technology is on their A game.
Absolutely, yes.
Can BLDC technology succeed beyond ceiling fans, like in portable or ventilation fans?
I believe so. If you look at from the benefit perspective, of course, energy efficiency is one, but there is also benefits around noise. There's also benefit around. When I say noise, it's much more less noise producer, right? So energy efficiency is there, form factor is there, smartness is there, less noisy is one option. I think with all of this, I believe portable, wall, pedestal, in all of these there is a very strong use cases of BLDC, and my sense is the way it has got a good acceptance in ceiling fans, it will also see acceptance in other subcategories of the fans.
So looks like BLDC has opened its wings, small, smart and speedy.
Absolutely.
Finally, what's the future of BLDC in India?
It's difficult to predict future anyway, but if you ask me, I will say that the BLDC fans will continue growing at a much faster pace than the industry average growth. Today, if let's look at roughly 20% of the market is BLDC fans. I believe in the next 5 or 6 years, this number should be significantly higher. Very difficult to put a number, but my sense is it will keep growing at high double-digit growth for at least 5 to 6 years. And along with ceiling, I think pedestal, wall, table, all other subcategories will also see a meaningful contribution from the BLDC subsegments.
Thank you, Mr. Shibam. What a breezy insight that you've given us today. From energy efficiency to smart features, it's clear that BLDC is the future of our country. Thank you again, Mr. Shibam, for helping us understand how ceiling fans has evolved as a symbol of innovation. Finally, Mr. Shibam, what's the future of BLDC in India?
I think look, it's difficult to predict future for sure, but I will say that BLDC will continue grow at a very fast pace. Currently it's around 20% of the overall market, but my sense is it's a very high double-digit number at the end of 5 years from now. The two things that I will also see, probably be happening in the fan industry along with or enabled by BLDC motor. One is the penetration of compact motor-looking fans. The small motor fans. I think that will increase significantly. And second, I will say, is the integration with the overall smart ecosystem. You will see a lot more sensors integrated in the fans. You will see a lot more smart functionalities, benefits, which is beyond just controlling the fan. Some of these will be enabled with the help of BLDC motor as we think about the next 5 to 7 years.
What a breeze of insight that was, Mr. Shibam. Thank you. From energy efficiency to smart features, it's clear that BLDC is the future of the fan industry in India. Thank you for helping us understand that simple ceilings has evolved as the symbol of innovation today.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Tisha, for having me here. It was a lovely session, and I really wish that listeners get some more insights and we all just come together and help government achieve its objective of energy efficiency.
And to our listeners, thanks for tuning into IFMA On Air. Catch you on another breeze with a different buzz. Until then, keep the conversations flowing and the fans moving.